Ladies and gentlemen, if I may interrupt your conversations. FPA's conference this afternoon will help us to look around the corner and gain insights into the future of energy. To start us off, we're going to turn to Alberta's Energy Minister, the Honourable Ken Hughes, who will be introduced by our good friend, the outstanding Consul General of Canada in New York, the Honourable John Prato.
Thank you, Noel. Those are very kind words. And welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Je vous souhaite tous le bienvenue ici aujourd'hui. I hope you've all enjoyed your lunch, and more importantly, I hope you've enjoyed the discussion around the table. My name is John Prato, and I'm honored to be Canada's Consul General in the greatest city in the world, New York City. And I'm thrilled to welcome you to a critically important conference on the future of North American energy independence. And it is critical because it is vital to the national interests, the security, and prosperity of both our nations. But first, I want to begin by thanking Noel, Lateef, who championed the idea of this energy conference some 2 years ago, and to the team at the Foreign Policy Association. The Government of Canada believes the Foreign Policy Association is the most ideal platform to engage in discussions that are important to the lot of human life around the world. And I also want to thank the Energy Minister of the province of Alberta, Minister Ken Hughes. I'm not sure where he is. Oh, there you are. And the Premier, Alison Redford, who have allowed us to have this conference today. The energy sector represents a remarkable North American success story, one that continues to evolve before our eyes. The events that are occurring today were not foreseen some 5 years ago, 3 years ago, or even 2 years ago. They are evolving in real time. In fact, what we are witnessing today is a continental energy revolution, one that is ultimately about infrastructure revitalization, national security, prosperity, jobs, technological innovation, because the revolution that is occurring today is a result of great technology. And it is also equally about environmental protection and sustainability. No two countries have the relationship that Canada and the United States have. We have the largest trading relationship in the world, over $740 billion. It's over $2 billion each day. That's over $1.5 million every single minute. 35 of the great states in this great country call Canada their #1 export market. For me, my home state now of New York trades more with Canada than the next 4 countries combined. And on the energy front, Canada is the largest supplier of energy to the United States. #1 supplier of oil, #1 supplier of natural gas, #1 supplier of uranium, and also the #1 supplier of clean, renewable hydroelectricity. And I should mention that my good friend from the province of Quebec, the Delegate General, is also here, André Boisclair. All those stats are really important, but what matters is that trade with Canada is responsible for 8 million jobs in this great country. In the state of New York, it's responsible for over 600,000 jobs. And the commercial relationship is vital, but there's also another one that's equally important. Our two countries share common values and goals, and we see it on the environmental side. We have the same environmental goals coming out of Copenhagen and Cancun. 17% reduction by 2020 off of base year of 2005. Land preservation, water conservation, those are all things that we work together collectively because we share common values. Energy stands as one of the great examples of the strength, vitality, and benefits of our strong relationship. It generates billions of dollars in trade, jobs, and leads to greater prosperity for our two countries. And today, true self-sufficiency, true energy independence for our continent is no longer a talking point, something to be discussed in academic circles, or even a political pipe dream. It is within our grasp. I want everyone to think in this room of what the world would look like, what our two countries would be like with greater energy independence. The implications for this, for North America and the world, because this will have repercussions for the whole world, are yet to be fully understood. Today we will have experts speaking on all of these issues. And at this luncheon today, we will have two elected officials that are at the epicenter of this energy revolution that is occurring in North America. First, I'd like to introduce to you the Honorable Ken Hughes, Alberta's Energy Minister. Minister Hughes was first elected as a member of the Legislative Assembly in 2012 for Calgary West, his riding. He was appointed Energy Minister in last May. He is the founder of a financial services firm called Alpine Insurance and Financial Inc., and he's worked in various sectors from energy, insurance, to IT. He has had a long career in the public service, both at the federal level, as he was also elected federally as an MP and was the parliamentary assistant to our Deputy Prime Minister. And at the provincial level, he was the chair of the Alberta Health Services and the Headwaters Health Authority. I have to tell you, he's also a very proud graduate of Harvard. Minister Hughes represents everything that is good about politics, and I've known him for well over a decade. And he's the type of person that you say to yourself should be in politics, and we're all grateful, no matter where we live, that there is someone like Minister Hughes in elected office. Minister Hughes.
Thank you very much, John, for that very generous introduction. I'm very delighted to be here today to introduce to you our Premier, Alison Redford, from the province of Alberta. But first, I'd like to share with you some insights into Alberta and the relationship between America, Canada, and particularly Alberta. Before I do that, I'd like to particularly recognize John Prato for his exceptional work. You can see why he is such a compelling representative of Canada, such a great ambassador for Canada in New York, and also as a consul general, not yet an ambassador, but who knows. I'd also like to thank the Foreign Policy Association for and the members of the board of directors of the Foreign Policy Association for your very generous engagement with us here today. We see this as a really strategic venue for Alberta, for an opportunity for us to engage in a way that is mutually beneficial, to help share understandings, opportunity for us to listen, opportunity for us to share some insights. And I think it's very reflective of the very deep relationship we have between Canada and America. And you know, somebody who's come to school in America and spent a lot of time here with friends throughout America, and who comes from a part of Canada that deeply embraces the relationship with America, I think we are all well served if we continue to build on that relationship. We continue to ensure that we have the deepest possible relationships. As you know, Alberta today supplies 15% of total U.S. oil imports. That's by far the most of any single supplier. Of course, the significant reserves that are emerging here in America, plus Canada's long-established and very considerable reserves, provide a really unique opportunity for us to reflect upon what we have in common. And we have so much in common. Reflecting upon that, if we focus on our shared interests, we will ensure that future policy can indeed be of mutual benefit to all of us as we nurture this long, stable, and very productive relationship. I'm often reminded that coming from a part of Alberta where the first produced oil was developed, it was called Dingman number 1 in 1914. The people who came to Alberta first, because of course we've never had enough money or enough people in the province of Alberta to develop our own reserves. The people who came first were people from America. And that has set in place a long and deep relationship between our part of Canada and many parts of America. You know, our relationship is indeed mutually beneficial. For every 89 cents of every dollar that is spent by the U.S. on imported oil from Alberta, 89 cents of that returns to the U.S. economy in the form of additional exports to Canada. So sales of American products to Canada. Every dollar of oil that's sold from Canada has huge American content in it. We are intimately entwined together. And that is an exceptional and unusual circumstance. No other country has that deep a relationship. So I'm now really delighted to introduce our Premier, Premier Alison Redford. Premier Redford is a leader in Canada, one of the leaders who is the most articulate spokesperson addressing the issues of energy in Canada, the future in Canada, working towards a Canadian energy strategy, a strategy based in rational discussion and science and engagement with citizens in Canada. Premier Redford is a fabulous representative, not just of Alberta, but of Canada. She has deep experience around the world in challenging places in other corners of the world. And she is an exceptional leader of our team in Alberta. And I'm very pleased to ask her to join us at the table here today.